The crystalline throne room of Zalthera Prime had witnessed many diplomatic disasters, but none quite like this. Queen Zephyria's bioluminescent skin pulsed with furious crimson waves as another Suitor distinguished Kelith ambassador scrambled backward through the chamber's arched entrance, his 6 legs tangling in his ceremonial robes. Coward. The queen's voice resonated through the chamber, causing the floating observation platforms to tremble. Just like all the others. Dani Martinez wiped grease from her hands onto her already stained coveralls and peered out from beneath the massive cooling unit she'd been repairing. She'd been working in the palace's mechanical systems for 3 weeks now, ever since the Terran merchant fleet had contracted her services to the Zaltharan government. The pay was exceptional, but the drama was even better. This was the 7th suitor in 5 days. Perhaps your majesty should consider a different approach, suggested Jasper Chen, the queen's newly appointed human diplomatic advisor, from his position near the throne. He'd been hired 2 days ago after the previous advisor, a Dralaxian, had resigned via subspace transmission from 3 systems away. Queen Zephyria's head snapped toward him, her triple-jointed neck allowing her to rotate nearly 180 degrees, her eyes, large and multifaceted like an earth dragonfly's, fixed on Jasper with an intensity that made him involuntarily step back. A different approach, she hissed, her crystalline exoskeleton crackling with barely contained energy. I am Queen of the Zephyr dynasty, ruler of 12 systems, commander of a very lonely palace. Jasper finished quietly. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Dani winced, watching from her position beneath the cooling unit. She'd gotten to know Jasper over shared meals in the palace commissary. He was brilliant as an psychology expert from New Beijing University, but sometimes his academic directness overrode his survival instincts. Lonely. Queen Zephyria rose from her throne, her 9-foot frame casting shadows across the polished floor. The bioluminescent patterns on her skin shifted from crimson to a dangerous violet. I could have any mate in the galaxy. They come seeking alliance, seeking power, seeking everything except you, Dani said, stepping out from behind her equipment. Both the queen and Jasper turned to stare at her. Dani hadn't planned to speak. She'd made it a rule to stay invisible, do her job, and avoid getting involved in alien politics. But something in the queen's voice, something beneath the rage, reminded her of her younger sister after her divorce. Who are you? Queen Zephyria demanded. Queen Zephyria demanded. Ma'am, I'm here fixing your thermal regulation system. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. She grabbed a wrench and started to retreat. Wait. The queen's voice was softer now, curious. Explain what you meant. Dani hesitated, glancing at Jasper, who gave her an encouraging nod. She'd seen his research files. He believed humanity's strength lay in emotional intelligence, in the ability to read and respond to feelings that many species processed purely logically. It's just, every suitor I've seen has treated you like a negotiation, Dani said carefully. They bring gifts, they recite your accomplishments, they talk about alliances and trade agreements, but nobody asks how you're doing. Nobody ... double quotes. She trailed off. Nobody what? The queen moved closer, her movements predatory but her voice genuinely interested. Nobody sees that you're scared. The room fell silent. Jasper's eyes widened. He'd hypothesized this in his reports, but hearing Dani state it so plainly was either incredibly brave or incredibly foolish. Queen Zephyria's bioluminescence flickered, patterns cascading across her exoskeleton in rapid, chaotic sequences. When she spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. I am Queen of 12 systems. I know, Dani said gently. And your father died 6 months ago, and the council expects you to choose a mate within the year to secure the succession. And you're 24 years old, which I looked up, by the way, and that's really young for your species to take the throne. And you're terrified that whoever you choose will want the crown more than they want you. The queen's legs buckled slightly. Jasper moved to support her, but she waved him off, her crystalline hands trembling. How did you? My sister went through something similar, Dani said. Different circumstances, but same fear. Everyone wanted to marry her family's money. Nobody wanted to marry her. She set down her wrench. She got really angry too, pushed everyone away. Thought if she was scary enough, at least she'd know people feared her power instead of pretending to love her for it. A sound emerged from Queen Zephyria, clicking. Worry noise that Jasper's translation implant struggled to process. After a moment he realized she was crying. Dani did something then that made Jasper's heart stop. She walked straight up to the 9-foot alien queen and opened her arms. May I? Queen Zephyria stared at the small human woman before her. In 3 weeks, Dani had seen dozens flee from the queen's presence. The gesture was insane. It was inappropriate. It violated at least 7 protocols of interspecies contact. The queen collapsed into the embrace. Her crystalline exoskeleton should have been cold and hard, but Danny could feel warmth beneath it, and the rapid thrumming of the queen's 3 hearts. She wrapped her arms as far as they would go around the alien monarch's torso and held tight. "It's okay," Danny murmured. "It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real." Queen Zephyria's bioluminescence shifted again, cycling through colors Jasper had never seen documented. Slowly, the queen's own arms, longer and more segmented than human ones, wrapped around Danny in return. They stood like that for several minutes. Jasper quietly recorded everything for his research, knowing this moment would revolutionize xenopsychology protocols across human space. Finally, the queen pulled back, her eyes clearer than they'd been in months. "Why did you do that?" Danny shrugged. "Sometimes a hug is the most revolutionary thing you can offer. My mum taught me that." Queen Zephyria looked at Jasper. "Is this typical human behavior?" "The best of it, Your Majesty," he replied with a smile. The queen turned back to Danny. "The thermal regulation system can wait. I would like to talk more about your sister, about fear, about—" She paused, her bioluminescence flickering to a soft, hopeful azure, "about being real." Danny grinned. "I'd like that, but fair warning, I'm going to need someone to explain your courtship rituals, because I have no idea what I'm doing here." For the first time in 6 months, Queen Zephyria laughter sounded like wind chimes in a crystal forest. Jasper made a note in his research log. Hypothesis confirmed. Humanity's greatest weapon isn't technology or warfare. It's the simple recognition that everyone, regardless of species, needs to be seen. End.